Welcome to today's World News Update for May 9, 2023. Here are the most important stories from around the globe. Thousands march in silence in Serbia after mass shootings. Brazil's Lula recognizes 6 new indigenous reserves. Mexican president backs US dollar as globe's principal currency. Poland hands over 10 MiG-29 fighters to Ukraine. Paris police under fire over neo-Nazi rally. Japanese car giant Toyota busted rigging crash tests on 4 new overseas models. Brutal Southeast Asia heatwave shatters all-time records across multiple countries. Ontario driver charged for using license plate concealing technology. In Haiti, a grassroots vigilante movement is fighting back against gang warfare. Stay informed and stay safe, and join us tomorrow for more world news updates. Thousands march in silence in Serbia after mass shootings. On May 9, 2023, thousands of people marched in Serbia in protest against the government's response to 2 mass shootings that occurred the previous week, leaving 17 people dead and 21 wounded. The protests were organized by opposition parties under the banner Serbia Against Violence and called for the resignation of government ministers and the withdrawal of licenses to state-controlled media that promote violence and host convicted war criminals and crime figures on their programs. The protesters also chanted slogans against President Aleksandar Vučić, demanding that he step down. The shootings, which occurred in Belgrade and a rural area south of the capital, left the nation stunned and triggered calls for tolerance and the eradication of hate speech and gun culture. The protests were described as the biggest in years against Vučić and his government, and police have deployed in schools throughout Serbia to restore a shaken sense of security as children return to classes. Brazil's Lula recognizes 6 new indigenous reserves. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has signed a decree to create 6 new indigenous reserves, covering approximately 620,000 hectares, including a vast area of the Amazon rainforest. The move aims to restrict commercial farming and ban mining in those areas. Lula, who took office in January 2023, has vowed to reverse the policies of his far-right predecessor, Jair Bolsonaro, who had promoted mining in indigenous lands. Indigenous leaders welcomed the decision but noted that more areas needed protection. The Amazon rainforest has seen a significant rise in deforestation in recent years, making the region a crucial buffer in the global fight against climate change. The new reserves, located in central Brazil and the country's northeast and south, grant indigenous people exclusive use of natural resources, with mining banned and tighter rules for commercial farming and logging. Mexican president backs US dollar as globe's principal currency. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador has stated that Mexico will continue to consider the US dollar as the world's principal currency, emphasizing Mexico's strong economic ties with the United States. Responding to a question about the possibility of diversifying Mexico's foreign currency reserves, López Obrador said that there were sufficient reasons to stick with the dollar, even in the face of a future financial crisis. Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, a fellow leftist, recently expressed support for an alternative to the US dollar for trade in certain circumstances within South America. Poland hands over 10 MiG-29 fighters to Ukraine. Poland has transferred a total of 10 MiG-29 fighter jets to Ukraine, according to Polish Defense Minister Mariusz Błaszczak. The news follows a statement made by Polish President Duda on April 5, in which he said that 8 MiG-29s had been delivered to Ukraine. Additionally, on April 13, the German government approved Poland's request to transfer MiG-29 fighters left over from the German Democratic Republic's stockpile to Ukraine. Meanwhile, Slovakia has already handed over all 13 of its MiG-29 fighters to Ukraine. Paris police under fire over neo-Nazi rally. The Paris police force and France's interior minister are facing criticism for authorizing a march of around 600 neo-Nazis through the streets of the capital over the weekend. The annual rally by far-right extremists commemorated the death of a far-right activist in 1994. The protest was authorized by city authorities and police could be seen patrolling nearby. Socialist Party Senator David Assouline has called on Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin to explain the decision, while left-wing Charity Attic criticized the far right for demonstrating their hatred with complete impunity while the government was trying to prevent protesters banging saucepans against the government. The Paris Police Department said it did not have legal powers to prevent a demonstration unless there was a proven risk to public order. Japanese car giant Toyota busted rigging crash tests on 4 new overseas models. The recent scandal involving Toyota and its small car division Daihatsu pertains to cheating side impact crash tests for 4 new models destined for countries with weak safety standards. The scandal reveals the difference in safety standards between developed and developing countries. The door panels of the 4 vehicles were modified to help pass the government side impact crash tests, but the change was not included in the production versions of the vehicles sold to customers. The rigged crash tests affected approximately 88,000 vehicles sold to customers, and the internal investigation confirmed the allegations of misconduct. Toyota plans to introduce the crash test modification on models yet to go into production. Daihatsu paused deliveries of affected vehicles until they are retested in the presence of the reviewing organization and certification authority. Although Toyota has taken responsibility for the incident, the rigging of the vehicles and the tests themselves were reportedly conducted by its small car division Daihatsu. In Australia, Toyota reclassified the Land Cruiser 70 series from a light commercial vehicle to a medium commercial vehicle, sidestepping new side impact safety regulations. This scandal comes nearly a year after the Hino truck division admitted falsifying emissions data for an estimated 860,000 trucks. Brutal Southeast Asia heatwave shatters all-time records across multiple countries. A historic heatwave has shattered temperature records across Southeast Asia over the weekend. Vietnam and Laos broke their national all-time heat records, with temperatures reaching 111.4 F, 44.1 C, and 110.3 F, 43.5 C, respectively. Thailand's capital, Bangkok, also broke its all-time high temperature record, reaching 105.8 F, 41 C, on Sunday. Although relief is expected in the coming days due to a nearby front with clouds and scattered rainfall, AccuWeather forecasters warn that the heat may return next week. As summer approaches, temperatures and rainfall levels are expected to be near or above historical averages across Southeast Asia. Ontario driver charged for using license plate concealing technology. A driver in Ontario has been charged by Halton police after being caught using a device that conceals their license plate. An officer noticed a black Porsche Panamera 4s that appeared to be driving without a license plate in Milton, Ontario. On closer inspection, the officer realized that the driver was using a license plate concealing device that can block the license plate with just a push of a button. The device, a black retractable cover, was revealed in a tweet by the police. The driver was given 2 $110 tickets and could face additional charges if the device was being used to avoid paying tolls. Toll evasion is taken seriously, and those who evade tolls are pursued to the full extent of the law. It is illegal for drivers to obstruct their license plates, as stated in the Ontario Highway Traffic Act. Obstructing license plates also makes it difficult for speed, red light, and toll cameras to issue fines and fees. In Haiti, a grassroots vigilante movement is fighting back against gang warfare. The BWAKL movement is a phenomenon in Haiti where citizens take swift justice against gangs who have been responsible for various crimes such as kidnapping, rape, and extortion. The movement began after a group of gang members were burned to death by a crowd when they were released by the police. The movement has spread across the country, with citizens working with the police to fight against the gangs. The citizens are using their numbers to overwhelm gang safe houses, drag suspected gang members out of police stations, and kill them in the street. While some Haitians are expressing reservations about the movement, many citizens have found joy in turning the tables on their tormentors. The Canadian government is focused on bolstering the capabilities of the Haitian National Police in the immediate term to address the increase of killings and executions committed by criminal actors.